It's got.
Hi.
And that's
Sorry.
how we cured the disease.
As you were saying.
Oh, that's right, Pixel. You're new around these parts. Yeah, I do key art every week. I do key art every stream. I have now done key art for the live streams for the last 39 games that we've played.
And it's all incredible.
Hey.
Like, every single one. It's amazing.
Appreciate it. It's fun making them.
I can only imagine, just because, like, some of them... like,
I was jury duty. I haven't been there yet, man.
That's a whole month later.
A month later. You're saying?
I was just saying, like, some of them definitely, like, I love the Mega Man Legends ones. just because they have a sheer manic energy to them.
Correct. Well, or like specifically the Adventures of Tron Bonne. Those ones were fun.
Yes.
The idea that at one point in time, I drew us as serve bots on the back of the goose stuff that's painted blue as we're being chased by a police lady holding a cartoonish bomb.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Like, oh my god.
And the intros as well are also just a lot of fun. Like, I always think about the Chibi Robo one that cuts to divorce court.
That just smash cuts to divorce court. Oh, just the one that everybody just freaked out about.
Just like,
you psychopath.
It's true, but you can't.
Yeah, or the whole concept of recreating the opening of Kingdom Hearts 2 and just having people be like, "Oh, you're just." I think it was Luna. Was just like, you're just showing off.
Yeah. Oh, and then of course the.
I'm sorry.
Cutting in the Chibi Robo again, the one in there where it opened like that because we traveled through time.
Oh yeah.
That was.
Don't worry about it. We got to see Pete again.
Yeah. Classic 1920s Pete, not anime Pete. That was the epic Mickey playthrough.
1970s David.
And that was
Bowie.
the one Luna drew.
Yeah.
That fucking anime Pete. But we're playing Metroid, another Metroid, just another Metroid 2 remake today. So let's get into it.
Good God.
Oh my god. Okay, here we go. Gotta make sure people can hear the video game now. There we go.
Right.
64%.
Wow.
That's pretty cool.
Nintendo Dreamcast.
Also, happy Mario Day, everybody.
Hello! Hi!
We're celebrating by playing Metroid. Speaking of Kingdom Hearts, I have a very important question for you two. Shoot.
Oh dear.
No, we're not playing Dream Duchess. Thank you, Luna.
No, please, no, please, no, no!
I don't wanna! Happy Mario Day, where every Mario game is on sale at $40 despite being nearly 10 years old.
Welcome to Nintendo Incorporated.
Yeah.
Also, that wasn't a question.
Yeah, that was. Wait a second, that's also not related to Kingdom Hearts. Hang on. You having a laugh?
You having a chuckle?
Woo. Wait a minute. But Mario is the Kingdom Hearts. Oh, that fucking.
God, no.
That fucking joke from. What was it? Game Informer? Mushroom Kingdom Hearts?
Yes.
That was a good one. I like that one. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I get what you mean. Yep.
It happens.
It's
we just
true.
thought it was very funny.
How devastated was Sora's mommy to hear her beloved Sora said such a horrid word as weenie? Well, frankly, Sora's hoping that she didn't find out,
Right.
first and foremost. But the only way that would happen is, well, if she just never returned after the Destiny Islands were saved.
Metroid 2, Mother Returns. Don't worry about it. Don't think about it too hard.
Yeah, okay. I'm not gonna think about it. I was just gonna keep going. Here we go. What? Me worry? Yep, she's totally dead. Rip and piss Sora, mom.
Metroid 2, Mother heard me say weenie. Metroid other mother. That's what needs to happen. That's what we need. We need Laika to make an adaptation of a Metroid story so that you could literally just have the other mother and it's just the SAX. It's just Dark Samus.
I don't know how I feel about this.
What do you mean?
I don't know how I feel about this.
Stop motion Metroid.
I mean, okay, that reminds me of like a thing that I believe I've mentioned I would like to see. It was when that oh, I've got to go back a little bit. It was when that like retro like 50s television serial remix of the Metroid Prime trilogy theme came out.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And I think I mentioned I would love to see a Metroid game that like goes all in on that sort of look. Like just go like full bore into like making everything look like a TV set from the 50s. All the backgrounds look like they're rear projected. Ridley is a stop motion dragon. That would, oh man, that would be so cool.
It's animation that's clearly on a rear projection unit and a person standing on a soundstage.
Yes! That would be... If they made, like, a single 2D Metroid game that looked like that, that'd be so cool.
You know what? That's what's needed. That would be a very interesting thing to do. It is a Metroid game, but using the aesthetic art style seen in Link's Awakening and Echoes of Wisdom. I don't know how, but like an interesting concept.
You think if the Legend of Zelda movie is successful, then they'll make a Metroid movie? I'm not sure.
Here's the deal. I am of the thought process that believes that as much as we all truly love The Legend of Zelda, I feel like doing a film adaptation is going to be extremely tricky.
Yeah.
Because it begs the question, we'll get an Animal Crossing movie before Metroid run. Luna, Queen. That already happened.
One. Yeah.
That already happened, honey. No, wait. I know! Blake! I knew! Fuser!
Damn you, Fuser.
Chris Pratt is Tom Nook. No, you get that out of your mind.
I will commit a crime.
Right. First, that'd be okay. it is that comes down to a really particular element. Jack Black as Isabel, you knock that off. You leave Isabel alone.
That's where I want to be, I think. See, that just gave you like a horrible thought where it's just like, oh, it's the trailer, and then it's Jack Black as Isabel, and he just shows up and says, "I am Isabel."
Single eyebrow goes up in a really hard, like, Jujin.
Yep.
I just, like... There was a really fun animation that I saw at one point in time where somebody effectively did, like, stop motion. It was CG. It was made in Blender, but it looked like stop motion. And it was just, like, Isabel getting ready to do her morning report. And it was just like, see, that could work.
Yeah.
That could work. That I could see there being a fun energy with. But yeah, like, okay. The thing that I was going to mention before was finding a voice for Link. That begs a really specific question. Do you allow him to be mute? Because again, I do find it kind of clever how they came up with the logistical way of keeping him mute for Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
I get it. It's silly, but I get it. You know, Knights of Hyrule take a vow of silence and whatnot. Like, okay, that's a very, like, very cheeky and silly way of allowing a character to be mute.
He just took it too literally.
He took it really, really, really too far. It's like, man, you realize how many things you could have absolutely done better if you had the ability to be like, Zelda, look out. Maybe we shouldn't go into this cave with a dead corpse in the middle.
I do remember the April Fool's trailer. That was fun.
It was fun, but like, when was the last time y'all watched it?
I mean, it's sure.
It is funny how, like, that is a perfect example of, like, rose-tinted glasses. Of how, like, people were just like, oh, this would be amazing. Oh, this is so cool. I can't believe it's real. That, like, the moment you take a step back and actually look at it, you just go, oh, wait a minute. This is janky as hell. There are like, so many things.
There's like a shot where like Link is like running and he has his sword in his hand, and then he just like he does like a twirl with his hand and the sword just vanishes. Like he doesn't put it away, it just goes away. And then the hero of time, face me.
Face me. Oh god. And it's also really funny because like next time you have the opportunity to like go back and watch, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna grab it. I'm gonna put it in general.
Yeah.
I'll put it in general chat in the Discord just so that people can be seen. You can see what this is because it's funny. Because again, like all power to them, but it's also funny because they chose somebody to play Link who is like, okay, we couldn't get Michael Cera, but we found a guy who has the right approximations, but with a little bit more facial structure. But like, it's also funny because there are so many. This is the one thing I did have to give them credit for, in that they didn't necessarily bind themselves to any one like iteration of Zelda or, you know, any particular one. They kind of tried fusing a bunch of different things together, which again, I have to give them credit. I have to give them credit for doing that because it kind of throws you. Because like, if that was the way that they were going to do the story, which was, it's kind of like an amalgamation of a bunch of different Zelda stories. But again, you watch the trailer and you look at it and you go like, okay, yeah, no, this is... There are, like, Zelda looks like she does in Twilight Princess. Ganondorf has, like, the full-on facial like beard that you'd see in something like Wind Waker. Yeah. Link is kind of like a halfway in between Twilight Princess and Ocarina of Time. Like, there's a lot of really interesting things. It's very, very interesting. Okay, let's see what this is. I just woke up from the most vivid dream where there was a new Smash Games, or one similar, where there was a character that was black and white and looked like a Chow and Mr. Game & Watch. His name was Bob's uncle. He spawned a bazillion game theories about who Bob could be. The crowd went wild at the event where Bob was finally revealed in a trailer with Star Fox and Samus.
Okay. The idea of a character who spawns a billion game theories about who Bob could be. Have you ever heard of Bob's Game?
Yes.
Yeah, that feels kind of a bit like that.
There you go. I've not played a lot of Zeldas, especially by then, so I wouldn't have noticed. I assumed it was an Ocarina of Time just because back then it was just it was still #1 on many games lists. Yeah.
Well, yeah, the idea of Link, like, staying in the Temple of Time for 7 years was definitely very much, like, from Ocarina.
Yeah.
So, let's see here.
There's just so many things about this trailer that are just so funny. Because they have that sort of, like, energy behind them where it's just like, I know how they filmed this. Even without looking at behind the scenes stuff, because of the things I know, I just can look at it and just be like, yeah, no, I know what they did here. It's fairly straightforward, and again, it's very efficient. Also, yeah, in the trailer itself, the old man literally refers to Link as the hero of time, which, granted, at this particular moment, because this video was made 16 years ago, by the way.
Yeah.
There was no established, Hyrule Historia. There was no timeline. So, like, we understand, like, okay, yeah, like, if you're saying Hero of Time, it's like, that one. It's that one. Hero of the Wind is that one.
Mm-hmm.
Hero of Trains, that guy.
Ooh. Something's going on over here.
Hello?
Oh my god! The Federation! They're getting wrecked by a Metroid!
Oh shit. What else is new?
Yeah. I do
Trains
appreciate...
mentions, hello. Hi, Fox.
Hi, Fox. Oof. Now the Metroid can do like a shockwave. Knock you down. And it brings fire!
Honestly, I'd still be more than down for like a Zelda movie that's more of its own thing, using elements of the past games together as long as it was animated. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, and that's kind of the thing, is that, I can picture a version of it in my head in terms of like how, because obviously, yeah, like the thing that people will almost always say is what would be the dream animation studio to make a Legend of Zelda movie. A good chunk of people will pick Studio Ghibli.
Yeah.
And I get that. I totally get that. But like, I'm being real with you guys when I say, like, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are as much of an homage to Ghibli as they could possibly be. The idea that Tears of the Kingdom just feels like it literally begins almost in the exact same way as Princess Mononoke, in terms of it being like, hello. It's like, oh no, poor guys.
There was also a spooky noise when the earthquake happened. Oh no.
Oh Jesus.
But yeah.
You can just make planes. It's perfect.
Unfortunately, the research team and the rescue team got totally wrecked. I do appreciate that one of the members of the rescue team had the same plasma cannon that Anthony does in Other M.
Don't tell me that was it. Don't tell me that was Anthony.
No,
although he's not
Anthony.
dead.
No. because Other M technically takes place after this game, so
after
it couldn't be
this,
Anthony.
Yeah. But yeah, I honestly think that like they're. You know what I actually think would be a really fun concept on the same subject as like an animated Zelda thing. I want to see The Legend of Zelda get an animation treatment in the same way as Star Wars Visions does. It's an anthology. It's 10 episodes long. Each episode is handled by a different animation studio, and they're just allowed to do whatever they want. You want to do an adaptation of animation from Majora's Mask? Go for it. You want to make a completely original idea? Go for it. Those 2 seasons of Star Wars Visions are like, there's a reason why I recommended that for Weedo, is because even if you're not a fan of Star Wars at all, that whole series is phenomenal in terms of it being like, this is fun because they got to do whatever the hell they wanted.
I also like it just because it kind of feeds into the idea that, I mean, I guess technically Zelda does have a timeline now, but it feeds into the idea that, like, there isn't really, like, the multiple Legends of Zeldas that take place, like, you know, this is from this era, this is from this era, but more the idea that it's an oral tradition that is just mutated with each, like, generation and society that has passed it on. Like, oh, the Legend of the Hero of Time came from, you know, it was the story told during, like, Hyrule's Golden Age. The story of, like, the original NES Legend of Zelda is a tale told of, like, when Hyrule was in, like, a very dark time. The story of the Hero of Winds was, like, a seafaring society's version of the tale after, like, you know, they traveled across the oceans and whatnot. Like, I like that idea for, like, the Zelda series as opposed to, like, a defined timeline.
Yes.
Just because it's more interesting. I know there are, like, games with, like, solidified sequels, but, like, you know, it's just, it's more interesting.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a way that you can interpret this and a way that you can have fun with it that would allow a unique vision to be brought forward in a way that would be like, okay, this would be fun to see. Now, and again, I also now keep in mind, with my knowledge and experience in media production, I understand why people, and by people I usually mean like grand audiences, producers, and certain things like that. I understand why they tend to gravitate towards live action, because live action is more approachable to the grand audience.
Yeah.
Like, there's a reason why we're getting a live action Moana, even though Moana is only like less than a decade old.
And there's a reason why we're getting a live action How to Train Your Dragon that is literally a shot-for-shot remake with all the same framing and everything.
Yeah. I was going to say that they probably wouldn't have many things to do outside of focusing on different links from different games, but thinking on it further, I don't think that's true. Hell, one episode could focus on characters. You do a side quest for attempting to solve their problem themselves, like a comedic episode. Yeah. Well, the grand audience can suck my nuts, says Zed. Yeah, no, live action Moana. Pika. It's happening.
Look, I
guess
like
who's
Moana.
playing Maui?
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
No. God, that'd be funny.
Yeah.
God, that'd be so funny to watch the blowout from that. I feel like live action Moana is more to do with Dwayne Johnson than Disney. You're not incorrect.
Yeah.
Dwayne pushed it for harder than Disney did, though he probably didn't have to push that hard. Yeah. No, what the frick? Get out of here.
What the hell does infatuated multiplication mean?
Infatuated multiplication? Ew. L.
I find it very interesting, like, just how far The Rock will go to, like, push for, like, I guess the best term for them would be, like, a vanity project, because that's basically what Black Adam was.
Effectively.
And, like, I kind of enjoyed Black Adam, don't get me wrong, but it was definitely, like, I want to play Black Adam.
Yeah.
I want to be Black Adam on the big screen.
Yeah. And then, oops. Reset of the DCU.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's probably going to survive in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, it'll be like New 52. Just a new
Plus
universe.
Black Adam.
Yeah.
So okay, we talked about Zelda, and this was a subject that was brought up last time. Kirby.
Yes.
Let's talk about a potential concept for a Metroid movie.
Yes.
Now, I feel like it's become a ritual at this point that every time the March of Metroid rolls back around again, it feels like we talk about this at least once per month.
Yeah. It's because it's a thing that comes up.
Yeah.
It's like it's something that people want to see. Who these people are.
Tradition.
But so, like, here's the deal. Like, the Metroid universe, in terms of, like, the video games, isn't exactly known for its story. I mean, it has one. Don't get me wrong. But, like,
sure.
It's not a particularly super compelling one, if we're being completely honest with ourselves. Samus goes and blows up space pirates. Samus goes and blows up aliens. Samus goes and blows up space pirates who kidnapped a baby alien. Like, it's not deep, is, I guess, what I'm getting at. And, like, the one time the Metroid series really tried to focus on narrative, it was Other M.
And I feel personally, and I feel like we talked about this when we actually did Conundrum Gaming Cinema 5000, where we watched Metroid Other M the movie.
Yes.
The problem with Other M was that they had a formula that was already working. Like, you didn't need to humanize Samus to the point where you're breaking character. Because that's the biggest cruxed problem with Other M. Or at least one big problem with Other M is that it completely character breaks Samus Aran.
Yes.
They added a personality to her that just doesn't jive with the version that we have seen so often. Now, the argument that many people could theoretically make is, well, technically Samus has never had a character. Outside of her having, like, data logs in certain games telling about, like, what happened previously or what she's going to do now, Samus has never had a voice to her. She's never had a personality that you could observe.
That is super incorrect, because Metroid Fusion, baby!
I mean, like, in the grand scale.
Yeah, I mean...
In the grand scale. Yeah. Like, so that becomes an issue when it comes to understanding the characterization that we've seen so many times over. Because, again, you know... let's ask that question. Do you feel like the characterizations that are seen with Metroid Fusion and how they personify Samus in that one, do you feel like it cancels out the amount of unfortunateness that happened with Other M and that characterization?
So, here's the thing about that, is that, like, Samus's characterization in Metroid Fusion raised the questions that Other M was trying to answer, specifically, like, her relationship with Adam.
Right.
Because Fusion is the one that introduced Adam to the Metroid universe. Excuse me, I'm about to sneeze.
Here it comes.
I'm turning off my microphone.
Right. Samus
And it
clearly
fucking
has a
went
character in Dread. Of course it did. The
I
moment you
hate
call
that.
out a sneeze, it just goes like, well,
Yeah.
then.
Never fucking mind. Anyway.
Why do our sneezes sound like Pete?
I don't know. Achoo.
Never mind, kid. You're not sneezing.
Okay,
Anyway.
so let's see. So yeah, Metroid Fusion introduced the concept of Adam as a character to the series, but he was already dead by the time Fusion rolled around.
Right.
And Samus throughout Fusion kind of reminisces about Adam, just because the computer that is the AI computer that is giving her all of her missions reminds her of Adam. For no other reason other than she just kind of like thinks, oh yeah, this computer's like blunt and to the point. It's kind of like Adam. I'm just gonna name the computer Adam because I don't know. I think it's kind of funny. Like,
Sure. Yeah.
that's basically the reason she comes up with. Is like, it's kind of funny. But like, the computer yeah, the computer doesn't know that Samus named it Adam until like the end of the game, where like the Federation is like, all right, Samus, you're done over there. We want to come in. We want to try to capture the SAX. And Samus is just like, are you actually fucking serious right now? Are you fucking with me? And the computer locks her in the navigation room. She's like, what the fuck? Let me out, Adam. And the computer's like, excuse me,
Adam?
who? Who's Adam? Samus is just like, somebody I really respected and who would open the fucking door.
Yeah. That's the name of somebody I used to know. Also, what are you talking about? Samus clearly has character in Dread. Just listen to her best line in the game.
Oh, yeah. I mean...
Okay. So what I am referring to, when as Kirby said, in the macro scale, what I mean by this is Samus specifically being a armor-wearing, helmeted character means that we only have, like, glimpses of who she is, either by exposition that is provided by data logs or, entries that she's doing, internal monologues, like what we see inside of Metroid Fusion.
Yeah. We never really get a sense of what Samus is like when she's off the job.
Exactly. Like, and I'm not saying that, like, we have to, like, know what her hobbies are or anything like that. Like, the idea that she goes into warp and all of a sudden she just brings out, like, knitting needles. Which is funny as shit, actually, now that I say it out loud.
Just picturing her with a needle in one hand and another one just stuffed down the barrel of the arm cannon.
Somebody gets on columns and she just goes like, oh, and fires it and it goes impaled into the wall. But when it zooms into the wall, you see that there's a shit ton of holes. It's not the first time she's done this. Also, the idea that, like, she has to go on a really long mission. So, like, she's like, yeah, she's doing things like that. Yeah, Emerald, exactly. So, like, she's, like, knitting. And it comes to a point where, like, she's, like, asleep in her chair, but she's still fully in her armor. But she's managed to create a one-to-one knitted version of her armor that's on top of her armor. She just got so bored.
Space is
She makes,
big.
like, a bouquet of flowers that, like, stick out of the end of her arm cannon. Got a scarf and a hat. But again, in the wide scale, like, we know that she's a badass, yes, but, and again, Dread did a fantastic job of showcasing just how much of a badass she is.
Yes.
That is perfect voiceless characterization that we see in Dread. So often she is just oozing with aura. Like, the idea that, again, the whole scene with Kraid.
Yes.
Like, Jesus Christ. That whole thing is just so goddamn funny.
It's just like, oh, this fucking guy.
Stop yelling at me. Bang!
I have 1,001 better things to do today.
Yeah. And then there's that enemy from the first, like, quote-unquote boss that you fight, the one that turns invisible. And there's a whole cutscene at the end of the fight. I mean, dude. Like, not only is that perfect characterization, that was just peak cinematography.
Yes.
Like the rack focus to Samus just standing in the back, the slight Dutch angle and whatnot, and how she just starts charging her arm cannon lackadaisically as she just, like, walks around. Like,
Omewa, muy shinderu.
Nani? Oh, you know, normal things, just totally normal things. So, let's ask this question. When it comes to the concept of a Metroid movie, do you think there is potential in effectively having a movie that acts like an origin story?
I think that's really the way they have to go, honestly. Like, they have to go into origin story, and they have to kind of follow Samus's career through the Galactic Federation before she becomes an independent bounty hunter. Because I feel like that's the easiest way to get a more straightforward narrative out of a Metroid game. Because, like, the idea of most Metroid games is that Samus is very isolated throughout most of them. And isolated exploring an alien planet, I'm sure it can be done very well, but I just don't know how well it'd be pulled off in this, like, particular universe. Because, like, you gotta build up, like, why does Samus hate Ridley so much?
Ooh, okay then. So let's change the medium. What if it was a short series?
Yeah, I think that would be a cool idea to do a short series following Samus's career in the Galactic Federation.
I can hear it now. It's Metroid Origins tonight at 11, only on Adult Swim.
That'd be great.
That'd be fantastic as hell. A 5-night special event. Like the manga. Okay, so that begs a different question. How many people have read the Metroid manga?
I have not.
Neither have I.
I know what it's about.
We're out of my depth here!
Like, well, there were a couple. The one I assume Red is kind of thinking of is the one that came out to promote Metroid Zero Mission that kind of led into Zero Mission and also explained... Oh.
Well, that's
I'm sure.
Unnatural.
I'm sure it's fine. So, yeah, that kind of led into Zero Mission and also explained some of the things that happened in Zero Mission, like, why is Ridley not on Zebes? Well, it's because he was in space blowing up a bunch of Galactic Federation guys, because they were distracting the space pirates so Samus could sneak on to Zebes. But, yeah, I feel like trying to tell the story of, like, a Metroid game like this, Metroid 2, would be a little difficult to do in, like, a storytelling medium, if that makes any sense.
Like in an audio-visual medium that's not interactive.
Yeah, something like Super Metroid or Dread, that could probably be done pretty well with, like, a adaptation, or, like, even the Prime games, like Prime 3 would be very easy to adapt into that sort of thing, because Prime 3 is also very story focused. But yeah, something like this where the plot is just kill 40 Metroids.
I feel like
yeah,
if they were going to do something, they probably would have to fuse Metroid 1 and 2 together to be one story.
Yeah.
And even then, you probably would have to loop that into it also being, like, the story of Samus's, like, upbringing.
I think also, since it's an adaptation, things would have to be changed. Like, the Space Pirate base, or where the Metroids come from. Great, thanks.
No! No! No!
Get out of here!
Why must that be the first thing you say?
Barfs
with delight. Hooray!
Yeah, like, for example, where Metroids come from is SR388. Where the first Metroid takes place is Planet Zebes. They'd have to smash those together for, like, an adaptation. Like, it wouldn't be, oh, the Metroids are this weird alien that came from another planet that the Space Pirates stole from the Federation. It would be, oh, the Metroids are these weird creatures from a planet that the Space Pirates have invaded and taken over and are experimenting on.
Right. So, I mean, hell, just pull a Jurassic Park and have it be like that's how it opens, is with the experimentation of the Metroid.
Yeah. And, like, the
shoot
Metroids...
her! Oh my god, shoot her, but instead of a Velociraptor, it's Mother Brain.
Oh my god.
Whoa, wait a minute.
Ooh.
Also, this place is beautiful.
Yeah, look at this.
Disagree. We get to watch her be a badass all the time. I want to watch her become the badass. Yeah. And I also understand that, like, that is the one... It's a crucial problem in narrative storytelling when you're doing, like, a prequel. It's like, but this character's gonna be, like, a super hard boss character, but they're a baby, and I don't want to watch the baby. I want to watch the guy who goes pew-pew with the guns and whatnot. It's like, yeah, but, like...
I don't want to watch Bruce Wayne become Batman. I want to watch Batman.
Right. It's like... It is an interesting concept that comes with a controversial topic of it, being that, like, as much as the prequel Star Wars films, like, get shit on because of how, like, long they take to kind of get to a point, they still do a really good job of answering the question of how did Darth Vader become Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Like, it took a while, and I am of the mentality that kind of believes that you could take all three movies and, like, make one big supercut.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of potential with the Metroid series, I think, in terms of how it could do narrative. Because, like you said, there is elements behind this where the stories that you see in the games might not be the most elaborate aspects and whatnot. Dread also showed us that there is, like, really fun, interesting, and compelling narrative choices that you could do that not only enhance the game in a phenomenal way, but it allows everybody in that story to, like, elaborate, grow, and just come into their own. Like, the joy we all felt when Quiet Robe showed up on screen.
Yes.
Like, that kind of feel, like, how fun would it be to have it actually be a circumstance where we actually got to see, like, the Chizoan culture in full swing via, like, flashbacks or through her upbringing. Like, there's a lot of interesting things you can do with stuff like that, because, again, you know, it's a crucial aspect of who and what she is. And correct me if I'm wrong, have we ever really had a game that, like, really focused on her upbringing from the Chozo, like, narratively?
The closest we get is a tiny flashback scene, like art from Zero Mission.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And even then, it's not really focused on that much.
It's just kind of like it pops up, kind of shows its face a little bit, and then kind of like goes off.
Yeah, it's just kind of there. There was also a comic, the Zero Mission comic also does go a little bit into Samus's upbringing by Grey Voice and Old Bird.
Oh yeah, I did. When I Googled it, I did see that that's where we get like an actual rendition of what those two characters actually like looked like.
Yes.
Which is fun. That's an interesting, little tidbit and whatnot. Also, it gave us the visual graphic representation of Samus in full power suit armor, but also wearing like a cloak over top of it.
Yes.
Because listen, dude, kind of like the Master Chief. It's like, is it necessary? No, but does it look cool? Yeah. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it looks cool.
It's just fucking cool.
There was a breakfast cereal?
Make sure you eat your Metroid O's.
Breakfast?
Oh, wait, no, they'd be, I think, shoot, what are they called? I think they're called Rinkas or whatever. The circular... The Applejacks from Turian. What the heck is going on here? This elevator
from
just
11
will
years
not activate.
From 11 years ago, there was somebody on Reddit on the r/Metroid who said my kind of breakfast, and it's a graphic representation of Chozo Puffs. I'm grabbing this picture and putting it in general because that's funny as hell. Oh, that's ridiculous. No, there wasn't. I was joking. Well, at least we have some fun visual representation. No, unfortunately, it's just Ridley on the box, but he's just colored brown. A DeviantArt post that is the most janky thing from 2012 entitled Phazon Flakes.
Oh, God. Oh, no.
Turns milk blue. They're radioactively delicious.
Oh, no.
I'm Chochu for Chozopus.
Let's see, what was the first
ridiculous.
game to have any sort of backstory for Samus? Technically, sort of, kind of the first one if you read the instruction manual, because it called Samus the most badass motherfucker in the universe.
Word for word.
Yeah,
a lot of people don't know that.
Exactly. I mean, how else do you explain Engage Ridley, motherfucker?
Right. If my Chozo Puffs don't give me radioactive poisoning, I don't want it! They're radioactive! Ridley Raisin Bran. No one buys it.
Damn. Poor Ridley.
He was really a Metroid
subsidiaries.
Yeah. Although a Metroid gummy candy that like it's little Metroid gummies and they're like slightly translucent so you can see the little like brain bits in the middle.
That'd be great.
That'd be funny as hell.
I'd
partner up with like VAT19 or something like that. Not only do you make like little baggies of it, but like do the stupid thing where it's also like a live-sized gummy Metroid. It's like the size of a basketball.
Oh my god!
It's like how they make. It's like because they make those.
Those
they make those gummy worms.
Snakes.
Yeah. What the hell is going on here?
Oh no! Very strange. Have I somehow? No, I can't have.
What are the scoops in Ridley Raisin Bran? Are they still raisins?
Yes.
They're bits of dead space pirates.
It's a Metroid egg! And there's 9 more Metroids!
No.
Huh?
Nintendo should make more cereals that act like amiibo, like the Mario cereal. Yeah. That's a big boy.
Yeah, those are the Metroid larvae.
Oh.
It's kind of
This sounds-
funny.
Sounds like an old-timey Western saloon ragtime piano.
So
Jesus Christmas!
this is actually kind of a fairly direct translation of the music that played in this area in the original Metroid 2. But also, yeah, it's kind of interesting how the most famous form of the Metroids you don't fight until you get to this area. And after discovering that that form is just the larval form, it's not their strongest form. And then you get here, and there's a bunch of larval Metroids that you have to deal with exactly the same way you had to in the original Metroid. You have to use the ice beam and freeze them, and then hit them with a bunch of missiles.
No! Ow! 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 Ow!
And they'll try to get at you. Now. It's in the original Metroid 2. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
What? Why is the background all fleshy?
So,
what's going on back there?
This is the Metroid Laboratory.
Oh.
This is where the Chozo developed the Metroids.
Oh no. Oops.
I want this guy. I want this guy to get up here so it's easier to. Whee!
Oh.
There we go.
Stop landing inconveniently.
Basically, this was sort of the reveal that the Metroids are an artificial life form. That they're not exactly native to SR388.
Right.
Whoa.
Hi. No.
Although, the way the Metroids pop out to attack you, this is basically how they attacked in Metroid Zero Mission.
Hiding in the darkness.
Yeah.
Well, that was a lot louder.
I'm sure it's fine.
Oh, well, this is ominous. What the fuck?
The Queen Metroid.
Oh.
The only Metroid organism naturally capable of producing offspring. The Queen is the heart of the species and mother of every Metroid born on SR388.
Oh.
Her role in the hive has hindered her mobility, yet encouraged the development of a long neck and massive head to strike at a distance. Her cell structure indicates... Her cell structure indicates she is heavily aged, possibly as old as the lab she has settled in. The years have reinforced her torso to impenetrable levels. The Queen's genetic coding is distinct from the other Metroids, and she may have gone through a unique life cycle to attain her form. So yeah, kind of bringing in some of the lore from Other M in that only certain special Metroids can become queens.
Very, very, insectoid bee behavior.
Yes. So, yeah. Her forehead is really the only vulnerable spot on her. You can't hit it while it's flashing.
Right.
But she spits gross projectiles at you that you can destroy to get pickups.
Gross. Eat your raisins, kids, and you'll look just like your mother.
No!
Oh god, I think I found out what the scoops of Ridley Raisin Bran. Also, this is phenomenally animated, though.
Oh, yeah.
Now!
The original boss fight in the original Metroid 2, the Game Boy game, it also used segmented sprites, which I think it does look pretty impressive for like a Game Boy game, to be honest, but it obviously isn't as good as this.
Well,
Yeah.
ray tracing is on.
You're telling me Ray traced these Metroids?
Yes. That's how she became a Jedi.
Oh. Dang.
God, this thing is unsettling, though. Ugh.
It's pretty nasty looking.
Ridley tracing. I love her. Mad that I can't become extremely old and turn into a badass bug dragon with cool spikes and teeth. It'd be like that sometimes.
Yeah. Sometimes it do be like that, though.
She pecks like a chicken. Ah! Good heavens, this thing is a sponge.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I suppose I could use some super missiles to speed things up.
Oh, God. Oh, you did.
Get ready for phase 2. This was not...
Phase on. Ah!
So this was not in the Game Boy version.
I can't imagine.
New content.
Ooh.
I do appreciate that they actually did animate, like, a unique reaction effect to getting hit with a super missile.
Yes.
Which is kind of like Fantoon from Super Metroid. Whoop. Now, you might think we used that door, but... no.
Ah, I see. Also, the fact that it's animating going up the little steps as well.
Yeah.
The tiny things.
It's very well done.
I bet this scared the shit out of old players. Well, let me take a gander of what it looked like on the Game Boy. Wasn't quite fond of how they changed the Queen from Metroid 2 on Game Boy.
Hmm.
Well, let me take a peek. Queen. She opened the door for you. How kind.
It does make the fight a little bit longer, and there is actually, like, a technique from the original Game Boy version that this fight doesn't really utilize. Because in the Game Boy version, there was, like, you could actually, like, jump into the Queen's mouth when it lunged at certain times as a morph ball, and then lay bombs in her stomach. And that would kill her, like, that would kill her really fast. Ew.
Queen Metroid from Famous Returns on the GB Game Boy. Yeah, I can see, like, how much they changed and adapted it and whatnot.
Yeah.
It's a very different take. Oh, ew. She barfed with delight. For Metroid Other M movie. Oh.
Here we go. I don't think so, Mom!
Oh, ew. Gotta get that squelch and scorch.
I appreciate that the drips actually bounce off of Samus. That's great. So yeah, they added the Metroid Other M quick kill to this.
Yeah.
Which is fun. Except in this game, you can use power bombs because you can use them the whole time. It's not like Other M where they don't tell you can use power bombs, but up to that point in the game, you can charge power bombs up to 99%, so there's no way you could possibly know that you could accidentally use power bombs during that fight. Fuck you, Mother M! Anyway.
Hi, I'm so happy to see you! Oh, it's so good to see you.
The baby.
The baby. Look at the baby. Hello, baby.
See, Samus is looking at the baby.
Hi, baby!
Ooh. And the baby eats those weird crystal things. Also, the music during this part is so good. Like this
Pokemon Mystery Dungeon eating sound.
This has such a particular vibe to it, and I love it.
Mm-hmm.
The original Game Boy game also kind of has this vibe. Like, it has, like, the haunting music and just, like, walking out of SR388 with the baby. Samus Returns for the 3DS changes this part. It changes this part a lot, because the baby is a power-up in Samus Returns.
What?
So, yeah, throughout Samus Returns, in some of the previous areas of the game, there are those crystal walls that only the baby Metroid can get through. Now, in Metroid 2 and AM2R, once you get to the baby, you're locked into the ending of the game. Like, forward is the only way to go. Samus Returns adds a teleportal right after killing the Queen Metroid, so that you can backtrack and get all the pickups. And you might ask, well, I already beat the game. Why do I need to get all the pickups? It's because Samus Returns added Ridley as an extra boss fight right at the end of the game.
Sure.
And they also didn't use this music for the walkout with the baby. And in fact, there's enemies that you have to fight. And it's
glad I never played it.
Like, I like Samus Returns, but it genuinely does kind of, like, change the entire vibe of the ending of Metroid 2 to the point where it's basically a completely different ending. And I'm not a fan. I don't like it. Yeah. This Metroid isn't Metroid without Ridley, I guess. Now, the Ridley fight
somehow
is fun. It's a good Ridley fight.
returned.
Yeah, it's a good Ridley fight, but like, I honestly probably would have much rather them like keep this tone, keep this feeling, and just, you know, because like, this is much more like inferred, you know, like the whole, you know, Metroid, but Samus doesn't shoot it, Samus spares it. Like, it's all visual, and it's fantastic. Mom cannon. I mean,
that's what
Samus is now. She's mom cannon.
Mom's got a cannon.
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
And that's another Metroid 2 remake. There's actually an entire extra area of the game that we didn't visit because I forgot how to visit it. But this game actually adds like an explorable Galactic Federation ship with a bonus boss. You're not actually missing that much. Like, it's not a particularly interesting boss. It's just a whole bunch of extra lore, including extra scan logs from the Galactic Federation troopers. And one of them includes probably the best "Wait, Samus is a girl" joke in the entire history of the world. Because there's always... Everybody likes to make the joke. It's like, Samus is totally a dude. Wait, she's a girl? One of the troopers you can find who is dead is a female trooper who's like, damn, I'd like to take that guy out for a drink sometime. I bet he's pretty hot.
Uh-oh. Go off, King.
Original... So, unfortunately, that trooper will never realize that she's a lesbian. Darn. Hey, look at this. They credited the original Metroid 2 game staff. I sure wish Nintendo was as good at this as these guys are.
Oh, I'm sure it's fine.
Wait, Samus is a girl?
The whole time. 74%.
But you missed 99 boxes!
Oh, no! Samus, don't juggle the Metroid.
Oh shit. Sorry, baby. Sorry,
Don't juggle the baby.
Mama.
Juggle the baby.
Don't juggle the
The
baby.
last Metroid is in captivity. The galaxy is at peace.
That is the intro to Super Metroid.
Oh.
With a different
Whew.
voice, but still. That's very cool.
Who was that woman?
I don't know. So there is technically
Nice.
Yeah, nice. There is actually a secret ending you can get for completing the game with 100% pickups.
Oh.
And I wonder if I hit continue game on this, will I go back to the laboratory? I will! So we're gonna fight the Metroid Queen again, except this time
Once
with
again.
100%. Yeah, except with 100% pickup, so we can get the secret ending.
Well, okay then.
Yep. So, another thing this game adds is, after you beat the game once, you unlock a New Game Plus mode. New Game Plus removes the mechanic of the hazardous liquid being drained over the course of the game by killing Metroids, so it completely opens up the game and makes it completely non-linear. Now, granted, the level design is still such that the most efficient path through the game is still doing it linearly. So,
Right.
New Game Plus is just if you want to be wacky, I guess. Like, it's not really for speedrunning, it's more for challenge runs, like trying to kill all the Metroids backwards or something like that.
Sure.
And then it also adds a randomizer mode, which similarly opens up the entire game world and randomizes all the pickups. And you can even pick how the pickups are randomized, like major pickups, minor pickups, both major and minor, and that sort of thing, which is pretty cool. And then you also unlock an extra difficulty mode, Fusion Mode, which, funnily enough, is also in Samus Returns, the 3DS remake, but you need the Metroid amiibo to unlock it. Lame.
The amoeba?
The amiibo. There was, for Samus Returns, they released a Metroid amiibo and a Samus amiibo. And basically scanning Metroid-related amiibo in Samus Returns unlocks things like the Fusion difficulty mode and, like, extra energy tanks and missile tanks and that sort of thing. Fusion mode, in both games, decreases Samus's defense to an almost ludicrous degree. It's not quite one-hit kill bad, in the early game at least, but eventually it does kind of get that bad.
I see.
It also makes it so that Samus wears the fusion suit throughout the entire game. And in another Metroid 2 remake specifically, it also replaces pickups with X-parasites that you have to catch.
Uh-huh.
Which I think is pretty cool. Like the Splatoon armor. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if AM2R sells the code from the Game Boy version where the credit sequence is coded to 40 killed Metroids plus currently touching a missile refill. I don't know.
Of that, I am unsure.
I also don't know if having 100% pickups makes the Metroid Queen more difficult, like Mecha Ridley from Zero Mission. I feel like it does, because it feels like that took a lot more super missiles than last time, but I don't know.
Did you guys buy amiibos?
I have all the Metroid series amiibo. Because of course I do.
The only amiibo anything that I actually am in ownership of is I have the amiibo cards for all of the Animal Crossing villagers that I have accrued over the many, many, many years that I've been a fan of the Animal Crossing series.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Also made it real convenient to get my villagers back when upgrading my Switch to a Switch OLED decided to just yeetus-deletus my Animal Crossing island.
Yeah, I can imagine.
That was a kick to the groin.
I do also have the Shovel Knight amiibo, since Ami mentioned the Shovel Knight amiibo. I also have Smash amiibos of my mains and my secondary mains, which
Tracks.
is a decent number of amiibo, I'll admit. I think I still need to get Terry, but I did get a Sora amiibo.
What kind of Animal Crossing fan doesn't want Jack Black as Isabelle in the live-action film? Fake fan? Now you listen to me. Now you listen here, goddammit.
Now see here.
Now see here, boy. You want Isabelle to be played by a man who is Steve, who is Bowser, and also is from a brutal legend?
Okay, but if that meant we had a chance of Isabelle going decapitation, I'd be down for that.
According to the internet, there already is a possibility for that to happen.
Oh yeah.
Because like everyone's just like, she's married to Doom Guy. I'm like, all right, sure. You're allowed to think that. No, but it's true though, because it came out on the same day. And I'm like, that doesn't mean anything.
That's not how that works.
That's not how that works at all. Okay, not amiibo, but I remember my dad had a short period of time collecting figures for Disney Infinity, and I'm sad I didn't snag the Snitch or Merida ones before he sold them once the game kinda flopped.
Yeah.
I'm still excited to see the Minecraft movie remade in actual Minecraft. Also, that reminded me that like there are the Minecraft movie toys now starting to hit the shelves.
Oh, good.
And like obviously one of them is just like, that's just Jack Black.
Mm-hmm.
That's just Jack Black. That's just how that works. But the ones that really weird me out are like they're a little too real at times. Like the one that really is throwing me for a loop is it's one of the piglins, or like, you know, the pigmans that you see in the Nether, and there's like a big boss character. And you know what the toy didn't need? The anthropomorphic pigman did not need to have nipples. I don't I'm not a big fan of this. I don't know why they decided that was a thing that they needed to include in the toy. But they're like out on display, and it's like, okay, all right, okay, all right.
I don't like that.
I didn't want this in my. I didn't want this. I'll grab a picture of it. Hold on. I'll put it in general chat, and I'll put it behind the spoiler.
Thank you.
Caution, nip slip. Why
This
nips?
may
I
contain
don't know.
Explicit material.
This contains spoilers. A Minecraft movie.
They were clearly
toy.
fans of the Joel Schumacher Batman films.
Sure.
Why not?
Fine. Fine. You know what? Fine. Why the hell not? At least it's not the Venus giraffe that you found. This is true. This is a true statement, and it is unfortunate that that has come back into the minds. Okay, yeah, here we go. Picture of this toy, putting it in general chat, behind a spoiler. Warning. Contains spoilers and nips question mark. Warning, undesired tits.
Don't do this to me.
Yeah, why'd they do that? Like, just, bizarre, weird, strange, weird, but I'm more upset about that wolf. Oh, funny you should mention that. Hold on, let me grab what the plush wolves look like, because they also exist. Those are also starting to hit the shelves, and they are nothing you wanted them to be. Look. Look at this, look at this, look at this. Hey! Unconstitutional. The piglin nips will be plot necessary. Oh, Christmas.
No, thank you.
Looks so scrumbled. Ah! Not gonna lie, kind of cute. Where did teeth at? Also, I guess the toy has the ability to bark. Like, we got some Teddy Ruxpin like energy up in this.
100%.
But please take this graphic here of a child playing with a creeper and playing with totally Minecraft Steve.
Also, different key art.
I can't stand with loving nobody but you for all my life.
You and me.
When you're with me, baby, the skies will be blue for all my life.
Oh.
The last Metroid is in captivity. The galaxy is at peace.
To be continued.
To be continued. Gordon Freeman's brother. Gordon Freeman's brother. Hello? Uh-oh. Me too, kid.
Yep. The X are reawakening now that all the Metroids are dead. fun fact, Samus Returns also has Samus Returns also has a 100% ending, and it's also those crystals turning back into X and absorbing one of those toad things and turning into the toad thing that Samus gets infected by at the beginning of Metroid Fusion.
The likelihood of this is just extraordinary.
It's an astonishing coincidence, is it not?
Yes.
So, I'm just gonna show off a few neat things.
Okay.
We're gonna jump into a game in Fusion mode, just because the Fusion suit is badass.
Right.
Look at that! Fusion suit Samus. It's pretty great. So,
Fuchsia Samus.
run over here. Find an enemy to kill!
Certainly it's not important.
Oh, I guess I'm thinking of something... I guess I gotta get hit. There we go. Yep.
Aha!
And yeah, if you wait too long, they'll fly away, just like in Fusion. So, there's also a bunch of neat extra options. Also, it changes this screen, which is very cool.
Look at that.
So, if we go into the options, there's a whole bunch of extras we can add in, like an 8-bit shader. That changes everything into a 4-color display, like the original Game Boy. Look at
Okay,
that.
see, this is tastefully done.
So, this is just a shader. It's not like actual bespoke graphics. It's most likely just doing it's most likely just a luminosity pass. This completely falls apart in the darkened caverns. It's not great, and it also kind of falls apart here a bit. But there's also a bunch of different shader options. Nope. Like, there's olive, like the Game Boy Pocket. There's blue, kinda, sorta like the Game Boy Light. Black and white. And then Virtual Boy.
Finally, it's peak art style.
I unironically love this.
Well, you own a Virtual Boy. It makes sense.
Like, this
You
is
are
amazing.
in proximity to a real Virtual Boy right now.
Yeah, it's true. But this is great.
You should have played in this.
And then, of course, there's P green, like the Game Boy, original Game Boy. And you can also set up a custom shader if you want. You can also turn on early Baby Metroid so that you have a Baby Metroid following you throughout the whole game.
That's fun.
For no other reason than to just have a Baby Metroid following you.
Sure.
You could also switch the Fusion Suit style between the way it appears in Samus Returns or the way it appeared in Metroid Fusion. This mainly affects the Varia Suit, because the Varia Suit in Metroid Fusion is hideous and ugly.
What?
In Samus Returns, it becomes watermelon mode.
What?
The colors are changed to like more like a darker green and a pink that just makes Samus look like she's dressed up as a watermelon. That's it.
Metroid, other melon.
Yeah, exactly.
Melon
There's
Prime.
also other things you can change. You can change the Metroid counter so that it's either local or the classic global counter from the original Game Boy game. Or you can just not show it at all. You can also turn off the HUD and the map in case you just don't want to play with a map like the original Game Boy game. And you can also turn on in-game hints. You can change the language. This game was localized into a bunch of different languages. English, French, German, which has 2 settings for some reason, one for 16:9 and one for not. I do not know what this one is. I'm pretty sure it's a Cyrillic language. I'm just not sure which one. I think this is. I think this might be Italian? Castellano? And Japanese. Oh no, this is Italian.
Wait,
Castellano.
go back.
Oh, is this classic Spanish, actually? Is there Phantom
Is there Phantom Million? Yes, there's Phantom Million. A lot of people don't know that. Phantom Million is Cyrillic.
Where's gibberish? I can like barely read Cyrillic. And there's Russian.
Xbox.
Brazilian Portuguese and Portugal Portuguese, which is very cool. Ukrainian.
That's very nice.
Swedish.
Oh.
And English. And it also credits the different localizers who did each one.
Thank you for doing that.
It's very
Shit, that
cool.
needs to happen. That needs to happen way more often.
Absolutely. There's also a bunch of different control options. I didn't really go through these the first time, but you can do auto climb, auto morph, and you could also use the classic morph ball deactivation, or you can set a button for it. You could also change between Zero Mission and Super Metroid style weapon selection, and also Zero Mission. This game gives you a lot of options to make it as comfortable as you want to play, which is very nice.
That's nice. It's appreciated.
Yeah. I love the fusion suit. It's so cool.
Yes.
Kirby over here trying to sell a game to us. It's free! What if we want to play it uncomfortably? Play with a keyboard and mouse.
Set it to the Virtual Boy setting and put it on Cyrillic, and also pluck out your eyes.
Yes. Do all of those things and it'll be perfect. See, look. It's like I'm really there.
And there go my eyes. Ah. Baby. Play it with the Kinect. Oh, God.
That sounds horrifying, and I don't want to do that.
Yes. I don't want to. You ever consider that?
So yeah, that's Metroid. That's another Metroid 2 remake, as compared to the other Metroid 2 remake, Samus Returns. I think overall, I prefer this over Samus Returns, and that's not to say Samus Returns is bad. Samus Returns is still good. Like, it's still worth playing, at the very least, to like see which one you like more. But this just feels more satisfying to play, because it kind of feels like they knew what they were trying to do from the beginning, more than the developers of Samus Returns did. Like, Samus Returns made a lot of changes.
Right.
Some good, some bad. But it was also successful enough for the developers to move on and make Dread. So, you know, you gotta give it credit for that at the very least.
At least it would it was an opportunity for them to like show their stuff and then go forward.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah,
and a lot of things that they introduced. A lot of things they introduced in Samus Returns actually then made its transition into Dread.
Yeah. And a lot of like the problems with Samus Returns do actually get tweaked out in Metroid Dread. Most prominently the melee counter.
Exactly, that's what I was thinking of.
In Samus Returns, it is slow and cumbersome. It's cool the first time you do it, but it wears thin pretty fast. Metroid Dread actually integrates it into the run and gun gameplay much more effectively, and it's a much better game for it, to be honest. So that's Metroid 2. Well,
how about that?
A version of Metroid 2.
An alternative take.
I think the original Game Boy version does hold up pretty well, all things considered. It holds up better than the original NES game, which is very surprising considering it's on the original Game Boy and has pretty bad screen crunch because Samus's sprites in that game are pretty big, and it's a very small screen. But like the actual like gameplay and level design is surprisingly still very effective. It's still very well done, and like it's a game that I would recommend people try out, like the original Game Boy game. Like, maybe you're probably not going to like it if you're used to more modern Metroidvanias with more modern conveniences, but like if you're willing to kind of set yourself like in that period of time, in that mindset, Metroid 2 may surprise you. Like, genuinely, it's pretty good. The original Metroid is also pretty good, but like it's definitely got its share of issues.
Just a
Old games can't be good. The internet told me so.
That's not how that works. You lied to me.
Modern conveniences, as I imagine Sam is just.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry about it. That's fine. What do you think?
I understand it, like, conceptually, in terms of, like, based off of the stuff that we've talked about, and how, yeah, like, this game, Metroid 2: The Return of Samus, is one of those things where, like, yeah, it's a small stepping point in terms of, like, how it establishes things within, you know, the lore of this. It gave us the baby, gave us the transition period from this over to Super Metroid, which, you know, that is a you know, tectonic shift in the gaming landscape just overall. Like,
yeah, like, to
correct
this
me
day,
if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is that not the game that really did kind of spawn the term Metroidvania? Like, that and Castlevania, obviously, but like,
so yeah,
is it Super Metroid kind of being the one that's like most people be like, of all the Metroid games that exist, Super Metroid is the one that like most people would point to as being like that originator.
Yeah, Super Metroid is definitely, like, to this day, still considered, like, generally the co-founder of the modern-day Metroidvania, along with Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
Symphony of the Night, yeah.
And Super Metroid is still kind of considered the bar to clear for most Metroid games, just because of how, like, it legitimately is just that good. Like, it was lightning in a bottle. And like it's hard to explain why Super Metroid is so good until without like actually just like sitting down and playing it too, because like, you know, the map is masterfully like interconnected and all this, like picking up like the pickups leading one thing into the other, like the boss fights. Like, Super Metroid is just a masterclass of game design, and you can, like, when you play it, you kind of do get the sense of like, wow, I can see how this was like difficult shoes to fill for future 2D Metroid games. And it, like, Metroid Fusion for like quite a while was kind of seen as very inferior to Super Metroid because of its focus on narrative and linearity compared to like the more open design of Super. I assume you played Super Metroid for past March of Metroid already? Actually, no, we have not yet.
Yeah. He's played the game before,
yes.
But when it comes to the current run, which this is now technically like the 4th-ish year.
Yeah, I think this is the 4th year
March of Metroid.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, because technically there was a March of Metroid before Jazz got like properly started.
Yeah. So like I did quote unquote play it for a past March of Metroid just to write a review for my old review blog. But
yeah, we're gonna do this forever.
We haven't done a stream of it. We're actually, like, right now I think the plan is we're gonna play Super Metroid next year along with Prime 4, because it's gonna be out by then, of course. I say, of course, like it's not going to be delayed. I hope it's not going to be delayed. But yeah,
fingers crossed.
Year 1, we did Metroid, Zero Mission, and Metroid Prime, I think.
I have my thing. Give me a second while I bring up the giant list of everything.
Yeah. I know we've played just about every Metroid game except for the 3DS games and the original Metroid 2.
Yeah, so the original batch of things that we did, because we got through a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
During one of the first runs, we did like Other M, Fusion, Prime, Metroid, and Hunters.
Oh yeah.
Because the reason why we did so many that time around was because we just watched the movie of Other M. Fusion you smashed through in a single sitting. Prime a single sitting.
Yeah.
Metroid in a single sitting, and Hunters in a single sitting. We did play Prime Pinball, yes. So the year after that, it was Zero Mission, Prime Pinball, and Prime 2 Echoes.
Mm-hmm.
Then last year, we dedicated the entire month to Corruption.
Just because Corruption is like the longest. Yeah, it's long. Because you can't really zip through it like you can the first Prime game if you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And then for like special events, like when Dread came out, I streamed that like the night it came out, just because I was that excited for it.
and it was an independent stream.
Yeah, it was 2 nights in a row.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna end up doing the same thing when Prime 4 comes out, because if I'm being completely honest with myself, that's the game I've been waiting for 7 years.
Yes, this is true. Like, it's a completely valid thing to be completely stoked about.
Oh boy.
The nice part is that being able to do the March of Metroid stuff with you has actually brought, like, I'm actually up to speed now.
Yes.
So is everybody here, effectively.
Prime speedrun stream. I would actually like to do a Prime speedrun at some point. I just gotta learn all the tricks.
Kirby's got tricks.
I don't know. I managed to do like early space jump like once or twice, because I do have the version of the GameCube game before they patched that out.
Yeah.
Which is nice. I have done Prime randomizers. Those are fun.
Mm-hmm. Very fun. Like, just, it is cool to see how it has all evolved, and we are, for the folks who have been here for a while, most of us are, in fact, like, up to speed into understanding, like, what the hell's going on.
Yep. And I think playing Metroid 2 before playing Metroid Dread is also good, because, like, Samus Returns on the 3DS was kind of trying to lead into Dread a little bit with the 100% ending with the X and whatnot. Kind of trying to set up, oh yeah, we would love to do a post-fusion game. And now we have a post-fusion game. We finally moved forward in the timeline with Metroid Dread, which is what we're going to be taking a look at next week. And I know we're both very excited for it, because I know I just got done gushing about how good Super Metroid is, but honestly, I think Dread may have finally been the one game in the series, the one 2D game in the series to finally surpass it.
Mm-hmm.
Not by like a huge margin, but like it managed to clear the bar that Super set, and Super set an extremely high bar.
Mm-hmm. If you want to know how much of a bar, like how much it cleared, know that there is an entire subreddit dedicated to understanding, learning, and teaching the Chizoan language that is introduced in Dread. There's a PDF document that is 62 pages long.
Yep.
Teaching you about the fricatives and the glottal stops. Like, it's intense. They got quizzes in this shit, dude.
I need to become fluent in Chizoan.
Like, I'm gonna link it in general chat just for shits and giggles. Like, This shit's crazy as hell.
You made those words up. All words are made up.
Shut up, Thor.
But, as always, I want to thank y'all for joining us. I hope you guys had a great time, because I know I did, because is this where I try to learn 3 languages at once? Fuck me, dude!
Fucking shit!
Ass!
The 62-page PDF of learning the language. Ugh.
God, imagine if a future update to this game added Chizoan as a language. That'd be great. Oh my god.
Give me a break, dude. Shit.
And yeah, totally looking forward to Dread because, God, Dread Samus is
rips.
Dread Samus just fucking destroys everything. It's man.
Correct. But that's for next week.
That's for next week, which we'll see all around.
Dread Samus, I love you, Dread Samus. I love you.